Hello everybody, my name is Davis and welcome back to another video, and today we're here for another weather breakdown. So let's go ahead and get right into it, starting off with the SPC Outlook for today, where we have no marginal risks of severe weather. Now moving on to tomorrow, we have no marginal risks of severe weather, but going into Wednesday here, we have a marginal risk of severe weather across portions of the Central Plains and the Western Midwest here. That's going to include Omaha and Lincoln in Nebraska. Now going all the way into Thursday here, we already have a day 4 slight risk of severe weather issued there in the yellow. That is going to include Lincoln, Nebraska. So Wednesday and Thursday in the Lincoln and Omaha region, you're really going to be wanting to look out here, because I could see this definitely getting upgraded to an enhanced risk of severe weather, considering that we already have a day 4 slight risk issued. So moving on to the National Hurricane Center here, we have a disturbance that has a 20% chance to form the next 7 days and a 20% chance to form in the next 48 hours that we have got to be watching, because it is right here off the coast, off the Gulf of Mexico. And the last tropical disturbance that we had that was off the Gulf of Mexico was Hurricane Idalia, which was the largest hurricane this year that made landfall. So we really need to be looking out for this. It does only have a low chance to form as of right now, but I could definitely see this getting upgraded. Now we have disturbance here that has an 80% chance to form the next 7 days and a 60% chance to form the next 48 hours. But I don't really think that we're going to need to watch this. I think it's more going to go to the north than anything. So moving on to the Eastern Pacific here, we have Tropical Storm Lydia, but we're going to break that down more in a minute. And then we have Tropical Storm Max, but we're also going to break that down more in a minute. Central Pacific, nothing new. So let's go ahead and move on to the paths for Lydia and Max. So we'll start off with Lydia here. Lydia is currently a 65-mile-per-hour storm here. It's going to head eastwards, and then by the end of the day, we are going to have a Category 1 hurricane here with 75-mile-an-hour winds. Now, this will continue to head eastward, kind of east-northeast, and then now is expected to evolve into a Category 2 hurricane with 100-mile-per-hour winds here and make landfall in the Tepic region. So if you're in Tepic and you're planning to evacuate, you've got to start now, okay? Because this is only on October 10th, so that is literally tomorrow at 5 p.m. GMT. So you really have got to look out for this. I'd say evacuations are probably a smart thing to start doing. If not, you could very well regret it, because those 100-mile-per-hour winds are extremely destructive. We're definitely going to see storm surge out of this. We're going to see some flooding rains, some damaging wind gusts, maybe even a tornado or two. We're not really sure. Anyway, it will continue north and east here and eventually end its lifetime in the Fresnillo region as a 35-mile-per-hour storm here. So you guys have got to be watching this here in west central Mexico. Now we also have Tropical Storm Max, which has kind of just recently become a major concern here. It is currently a 60-mile-per-hour storm, and by the end of the day is expected to make landfall here as a 40-mile-per-hour storm, but probably a 50-mile-per-hour storm here if you live right along the coast. So Patatlan, definitely look out for this, okay? This is once again going to include some damaging winds, maybe a little bit of storm surge, some flooding rains, possibly a tornado or two. So we really got to be looking out in this region, okay? This is a high-end storm that's going to make impact today. So definitely look out for that, especially Tepic. I'm really concerned about Tepic because we have a Category 2 hurricane right there, and I feel like this is not being talked about enough. So let's go ahead and move on to the excessive rainfall outlook, where today we have 2 marginal risks of flash flooding. One is down here in southeast Florida in the Miami region, and then the other one is going to be up here in the northeast in portions of New York. So if I can go ahead and zoom out there, as you can see, we have a marginal risk of flash flooding in New York. Moving on to tomorrow here, we have a slight risk of flash flooding in portions of South Texas that is going to include Brownsville and Corpus Christi. So tomorrow you have a 15% chance to see flash flooding in that region, so look out. Moving on to Wednesday here, we have another slight risk of flash flooding. That is going to be here right along the coast, so for like portions of southern Louisiana, southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, the southwestern part of the panhandle of Florida here, you're going to have a slight risk to see flash flooding, because even if that storm back here doesn't form into something, it's still going to bring some pretty heavy rainfall to most of these regions. Now moving on to Thursday here, we have another slight risk of flash flooding. This time it's going to be in the Central Plains here, as as well as the western Midwest. So portions of northeast Nebraska, southeast South Dakota, southwest Minnesota, and northwest Iowa, that's going to be a 15% risk of flash flooding on Thursday. Moving on to Friday, we already have another slight risk of flash flooding. It doesn't stop, guys. This is going to be over portions here of the upper Midwest. This does include Chicago, Milwaukee, Waukegan, Gary, Kalamazoo, kind of here around the Great Lakes region. So definitely look out for that on Friday. Now moving on to the watches, warnings, and advisories currently in effect. It's actually extremely calm right now. We really don't have anything. I mean, we got some dense fog advisories here in portions of North Dakota, but that's literally it. All I can say is look out for some patchy frost today across the entirety of the eastern U.S. If you see any temps dipping down into the 30s, that's whenever frost is most likely to begin to form. So look out for that. Be careful driving on icy roads. But yeah, other than that, extremely calm right now. So if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.